हरे कृष्णा। क्लास स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ क्या? हरे
हरे
कृष्णा।
कृष्ण माता जी, नहीं हुआ शायद अभी तक।
ओके ओके।
Hare Krishna. Is there a technical problem? I'm unable to hear anything. Has the class started?
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Now I could hear you. Hari bol.
Can't hear Prabhuji.
Is my voice is audible?
Yes,
Now-
yes, Prabhuji. Now audible, yes.
Yes. So we are at 47th verse, and please read the translation.
Just give me 1 minute, Prabhuji, please.
Yes.
Translation. Prithu Maharaj continued, how can such persons who have rendered unlimited service by explaining the path of self-realization in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whose explanations are given for our enlightenment with complete conviction and Vedic evidence, be repaid except by folded palms containing water for their satisfaction? Such great personalities can be satisfied only by their own activities, which are distributed amongst human society out of their unlimited mercy. Purport. Great personalities of the material world are very eager to render welfare service to human society, but actually no one can render better service than one who distributes the knowledge of spiritual realization in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All living entities are within the clutches of the illusory energy. Forgetting the real identity, they, however, in material existence, transmigrating from one body to another in search of a peaceful life. Since these living entities have very little knowledge of self-realization, they are not getting any relief, although they are very anxious to attain peace of mind and some substantial happiness. Saintly persons like the Kumaras, Narada, Prahlada, Janaka, Sukadeva Goswami, and Kapila Deva, as well as the followers of such authorities as the Vaishnava Acharyas and their servants, can render a valuable service to humanity by disseminating knowledge of the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. Such knowledge is the perfect benediction for humanity. Knowledge of Krishna is such a great gift that it is impossible to repay the benefactor. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj requested the Kumaras to be satisfied by their own benevolent activities in delivering souls from the clutches of Maya. The king saw that there was no other way to satisfy them for their exalted activities. The word Vinodapatram can be divided into two words, Vina and Udapatram, or can be understood as one word, Vinodapatram, which means joker. A joker's activities simply arouse laughter, and a person who tries to repay the spiritual master or teacher of the transcendental message of Krishna becomes a laughing stock, just like a joker, because it is not possible to repay such a debt. The best friend and benefactor of all people is one who awakens humanity to its original Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, Prabhuji will explain this tomorrow. We'll go ahead. We'll read next verse, text number 48. Maitreya Uvacha Ta Atmayoga Pataya Adirajena Pujita Shilam Tadiyam Shansasta Shansantaha Khebhavamishatam Nunam. Yes, translation.
Prabhuji, I'll only continue. The great
Yes.
sage Maitreya The great sage Maitreya continued, being thus worshipped by Maharaj Prithu, the four Kumaras who were masters of devotional service became very pleased. Indeed, they appeared in the sky and praised the character of the king, and everyone observed them. Purport. It is said that the demigods never touch the surface of the earth. They walk and travel in space only. Like the great sage Narada, the Kumaras do not require any machine to travel in space. They are also residents of Siddhaloka who can travel in space without machines. Since they can go from one planet to another, they are called Siddhas. That is to say, they have acquired all mystic and yogic powers. Such great saintly persons who have attained complete perfection in mystic yoga are not visible in this age on earth because humanity is not worthy of their presence. The Kumaras, however, praise the characteristic of Maharaj Prithu and his great devotional attitude and humility. The Kumaras were greatly satisfied by King Prithu's method of worship. It was by the grace of Maharaj Prithu that the common citizens in his domain could see the Kumaras flying in outer space. Hare Krishna.
Yes. We'll read one more verse, text number 49. Vainastu dhuryo mahatam samsthityadhyatma sikshaya aptakamam ivapmanam mena atmani avastitaha. Translation.
Amongst great personalities, Maharaja Prithu was the chief by virtue of his fixed position in relation to spiritual enlightenment. He remains satisfied as one as who have achieved all success in spiritual understanding. Purport. Remaining fixed in devotional service, giving one the almost in self-satisfaction. Actually, self-satisfaction can be achieved only by pure devotees who have no desire on others than to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to desire, he is fully satisfied with himself. Similarly, a devotee who has no desire others than to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is as self-satisfied as the Supreme Lord. Everyone is hankering after peace of mind and self-satisfaction, but this can only be achieved by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. King Prithu's statements is previous was regarding his vast knowledge and perfect devotional service are justified here. For he is considered best amongst all Mahatmas. In Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Sri Krishna speaks of Mahatmas in this way. Mahatmanas tu mama partha divem prakartimam ashritam bhajante anaya manaso jatva bhutanam avyayam. So, all Son of Pruta, those who are not deluded, the great soul, are under the protection of the divine nature. They all full engage in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. The Mahatmas are not under the clutches of the illusionary energy, but as under the protection of the spiritual energy. Because of this, the real Mahatma is always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj exhibited all the symptoms of a Mahatma. Therefore, he is mentioned in this verse of Dhuryo Mahatma, best of the Mahatmas. Haribol.
Yes. We'll read one more verse. Text 50. कर्माणि च यथा कालं यथा देशं यथा बलं यथोचितं यथा विक्तम् अकरोद ब्रह्मसात्कृतम्. Yes, translation.
Being self-satisfied, Maharaj Prithu executed his duties as perfectly as possible, according to the time and his situation, strength, and financial position. His only aim in all his activities was to satisfy the absolute truth. In this way, he duly acted. Purport. Maharaj Prithu was a responsible monarch, and he had to execute the duties of a Kshatriya, a king, and a devotee at the same time. Being perfect in the Lord's devotional service, he could execute his prescribed duties with complete perfection as befitted the time and circumstance and his financial strength and his personal ability. In this regard, the word karmani in this verse is significant. Prithu Maharaja's activities were not ordinary, but they were in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Rupa Goswami has advised that things which are favorable to devotional service should not be rejected, nor should activity favorable for devotional service be considered ordinary work or fruitive activity. For example, an ordinary worker conducts business in order to earn money for his sense gratification. A devotee may perform the same work in exactly the same way, but his aim is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Consequently, his activities are not ordinary. Prithu Maharaja's activities were therefore not ordinary, but were all spiritual and transcendental. For his aim was to satisfy the Lord. Just as Arjuna, who was a warrior, had to fight to satisfy Krishna, Prithu Maharaj performed his royal duties as a king for the satisfaction of Krishna. Indeed, whatever he did as emperor of the whole world was perfectly befitting a pure devotee. It is therefore said by a Vaishnava poet, Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vignena Bujaya. No one can understand the activities of a pure devotee. A pure devotee's activities may appear like ordinary activities, but behind them there is a profound significance, the satisfaction of the Lord. In order to understand the activities of a Vaishnava, one has to become very expert. Maharaj Prithu did not allow himself to function outside the institution of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Although as a Vaishnava, he was a Paramahamsa, transcendental to all material activities. He remained in his position as a Kshatriya to rule the world, and at the same time remained transcendental to such activities by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Concealing himself as a pure devotee, he externally manifested himself as a very powerful and dutiful king. In other words, none of his activities were carried out for his own sense gratification. Everything he did was meant for the satisfaction of the senses of the Lord. This is clearly explained in the next verse. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, so we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, jai jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktarunda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhupada.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.